Welcome to this slideshow, which supports the Yorkshire Therapies and Training course on making your practice autism friendly. This is the second of two slideshows. The first looked at autism itself. This one will look at wider issues surrounding the condition and also how you can support those diagnosed with it. There are other issues that can run alongside the defining characteristics of autistic syndrome disorders. Savant skills appear in about 10% of those on the autistic spectrum. This is 10 times higher than in the general population. These can include extraordinary math skills, memory feats, or artistic and musical abilities. Some of those on the spectrum have other disabilities like Downs or ADHD, which can interact with or sometimes mask their autism. Many children later diagnosed with autism are thought initially to be deaf because they don't respond to or use speech at the usual milestones. Around 20 to 40% of autistic people have epilepsy, contrasting with around 1% in the general population. The variations in autism sometimes lead to some people being wrongly diagnosed with other conditions. We've mentioned how lack of communication skills may lead them to being thought deaf in the early years. Similarly, autistic indicators may at first be confused with those of dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADHD, and other conditions. When we talk about an autistic spectrum, it's easy to think that we're meaning something like this. But a straight line doesn't really represent the complexities and variety of challenges faced by those diagnosed with autism. Someone with an autistic spectrum disorder might have severe problems in one area and be affected much less in others, which makes it difficult to know where to plot them onto a line. Different writers have tried to represent this in different ways, like these from A.S. Dadd and Rebecca Burgess. But we think the best way to look at it is this: every autistic person is unique, just as every non-autistic person is, and if you start from there you won't go far wrong. Autism presents other challenges as well as the specific impairments. Because the problems with communication and finding shared interests with others, people on the autistic spectrum are vulnerable to loneliness and isolation, and in turn this increases their risk of stress, anxiety and depression. Some people with autistic spectrum disorders have restricted food choices. The reasons for this aren't clear, but it may be to do with hypersensitivity to heat, texture, taste, visual appearance or smell. This can present problems when eating out or away from home, although our experience is that restaurants are more flexible in catering to individual preferences now than they were years ago. A majority of adults on the spectrum are unemployed, even those with high-level qualifications. We feel this is not least because communication issues interfere with their abilities to perform well at interviews, and employers may be worried about providing the right support. Many people on the autistic spectrum have trouble with coordination and motor control. Problems in this area can lead to issues with everyday activities like knitting, sewing, DIY, riding a bike or driving a car. Living with the problems associated with autism creates high levels of stress and anxiety, and many people on the spectrum experience mental health issues. Suicide is over 7 times more prevalent in those with autism than it is in the general population. Even given all this, there are things that you can do to make access to your services as easy as possible for people on the autistic spectrum. Around 1% of the population are thought to be affected, so whether you're a therapist, dentist, hairdresser or something else, some of your clients are likely to be in that group. Here are just a few suggestions, and you'll find lots more in the course notes. Communicating in a way that your clients or customers can understand might mean sending appointment reminders in different ways from usual, or writing down information that you generally give verbally. Thinking ahead means planning the times and content of your sessions well in advance, and avoiding rescheduling if at all possible. Making the environment as welcoming as you can might involve turning off bright lights and distractions such as background music, avoiding strong smells such as room fresheners. Your client knows what will help them. Encourage them to share this with you, whether it's bringing a friend to the appointment, a pre-appointment visit, or bringing a security mascot or item with them. Thank you for listening. Now please return to the course. You'll need to complete the exercises in the workbook and return it to us for feedback and certification. If you don't have a workbook, you can sign up for this free course at www.cpd.expert. Thank you for listening.